I never get attention in school. No one ever notices me. I try to get people's attention, but they ignore me. So I faked my illness, just so they could look at me for once. Everyone was shocked, even the teacher. She asked me what happened, and I told her I have an illness. She was so concerned and told my mom about it. My mom was shocked. When I came home, my mom was there crying about my illness, begging to take me to the hospital. I couldn't let her know that I was faking it. I got rushed to the hospital, and they were checking me out. My mom rushed to me and said,
"Sweetie, I'm sorry, but you have cancer."
"How can this be true?" My town had a recent kidnapping, so I decided to learn Morse code to stay safe, in case I was the next victim and needed a way to contact the police. But whenever it rains, the raindrops keep telling me to get out.
I've always felt guilty for not being able to save my younger brother in a car accident when we were children. After that day, I grew up with an unshakable sense of guilt. Many years later, I got married and had a son. I often gave him toys that were similar to the ones my brother and I used to play with. One day, my son found an old, forgotten teddy in the back of a closet. A toy that looked exactly like the one my brother was sitting in when the accident happened. From that day on, my son insisted that he wasn't playing alone anymore. He was adamant that a man was playing with him. One evening, I overheard my son whispering,
"He says he's come back from far away to be with you, Mom. He's asking why you didn't save him."
Layla was about to give birth, and along with her husband, she was eagerly waiting to hear her daughter's first words. When the baby was born, her first words were,
"Fire! Die!"
Layla and her husband were bewildered, but they thought it was just meaningless babble from a child and not worth worrying about. However, those words kept repeating. The little girl said that
Fire,
words while playing,
die.
while eating, and even just before
Fire,
sleeping.
die.
This repetition gradually made Layla and her husband feel increasingly anxious. One night, a violent storm swept through, and a terrifying lightning bolt struck Layla's house. Flames erupted, consuming the home in a matter of moments. Rescue teams arrived shortly after, but when the fire was finally extinguished, they could only save Layla's daughter. The little girl stood before her parents' lifeless bodies, her eyes vacant, and clearly uttered,
1 year ago, I went to a hotel and walked up to the front desk to check in. The woman gave me the keys, and when I walked back to go to my room, she said,
"There's a room in front of you, which is abandoned. Never, and I mean never, go in there under any circumstances."
"Chill out, girl, I won't," and then went straight to my room, opened the door, and went to take a nap. I woke up feeling tired as and opened the curtains to see it was midnight. I went to the kitchen and grabbed myself something to eat. But I kept thinking about one thing, the abandoned room in front of me that girl told me about. I kept getting more curious, so I decided to look into the keyhole. As I looked through the keyhole, I stared in confusion for a while. I could only see something red through the hole, so I went back to my room and went to sleep.
Me and my friends were having a sleepover. We had so much fun, baked cupcakes, went on Omegle, and much more. When I was on my computer, I discovered the dark web, which had really sketchy phone numbers. I thought it was some silly thing people made up, so I wanted to call one of the phone numbers listed. I told my friends, but Ray kept telling me that I shouldn't do it or something bad will happen. I didn't really think much of it because I thought she was just being dramatic. So I called one of the phone numbers, but no one was answering, so I gave up. 20 minutes later, while I was chatting with my friends, but then I realized they both had very shocked faces. Why are you guys staring at me like that?
Girl, there's someone behind you.
OMG, I see it too.
What are you guys talking about? There's no one behind me. Ha ha ha.
I used to be a famous model. I had a body that every young girl dreamed of. But everything changed when I got married and had a kid. I gained so much weight that I couldn't even recognize myself. No one remembered me. To them, I was just a washed-up model. I was devastated until I found this weight loss pill. The seller claimed that it'd give me a wonderful result. In less than 24 hours, I drank it immediately without thinking. Since the day I took the pill, my body felt lighter than ever, and I could eat whatever I wanted without gaining weight. But I always felt hungry. I ate, and ate until there was no longer food in the fridge. Yet, it wasn't enough. I guess I have no choice.